Well, it says I'm live. Good morning. I would have been on a little bit earlier, but it was really cold and really didn't want to get out of bed because I was really warm, but I wasn't. Uh, and then I made tea and then spilled half the hot water all over my hand coming downstairs. Today has just been a little bit rough for me. And then I find Dojo. See, look at all like it looks like Wolf 359 over there because Dojo has been sitting in the window. Anyway, uh, good morning. It is uh, Friday, November 11th. It is Veterans Day, so there's no regular school. There is school for I am having classes today, but those who have served, thank you for your service. And then Marines, their birthday was yesterday, so happy birthday, Marines. But yeah, so good morning. I thought I would share this. I don't know how many people. I'm pretty open on sharing this. When I was a senior in high school, I was being courted by the Marines and the Army, and my mom was freaking out because I was seriously considering going into one of them. And so we had a friend who was he was a captain in the Coast Guard up in Seattle, and at the time, that's when they were attached to the Department of Transportation, because Homeland Security was not a thing at the time. So they were not really considered a real military branch. And so, hey, no, you're not getting in the window. That's Dojo. So anyway, so she's freaking out, and so she calls him and has him send a bunch of stuff to the house for the Coast Guard. And I was like, I don't want to be a Coast Guard guy. Now, fast forward, I don't know how many years. Actually, working with Coast Guard when I was doing ship security. Coast Guard's awesome, but that's a whole nother thing. Anyway, so I ultimately did not choose to go into the military at all, not because of any type of not wanting to fight for my country or any reason like that. My reason was dumber. So at the time, Star Trek Next Generation was on TV. So this is 1990. And I videotaped every single episode. And since then, the videotapes have long but disappeared. But I live put in the VC. I had two tapes. I had one tape for every two episodes. So I had 12-ish tapes for every season when it came to the Next Generation. And it had been out for, I don't know, 4 seasons, maybe 3 seasons by now. And there were some times where I was not able to tape it. I ended up getting it on tape, but I was not able to tape it because I put my mom in charge, and she failed in following a simple direction of, hey, when Star Trek's on, can you make sure that this is recording? And so because I could not trust my mother in recording Star Trek, and knowing that Star Trek was going to be a thing for a while, I didn't go into the military. So yeah, that's a real story. Um, that's how much of a fucking nerd I was growing up. But I have a huge respect for those who do serve. So, um, oh, and then actually, when I thought about getting in, I was too old. So I actually thought about going into like Coast Guard Reserve or something like that. And at the time, it was like you couldn't be older than 30. Let's see, you had to have, I think, what was the rules? You couldn't be older than 38 or 39. I can't remember the number. And then you couldn't be, uh, and then you couldn't have more than like 4 dependents or 5 dependents. I can't remember, but I'm married, 3 kids, and I'm 39. So I wasn't like, there was no chance I was going to be able to do reserve. But yeah. So anyway, true story. Now I'm just 50 years old. I got 1 kid left in the house. I got a grandkid that I'm actually watching today because it is my daughter-in-law's birthday. So Destiny, yes, I actually used her name. Happy birthday. So we're going to be watching Little Man for a little bit today. And of course, most of the day tomorrow, like we always do. But yeah, so what has been going on this week? I've gotten very little done this week. I feel horrible about myself that I have not. I've been extremely unproductive. However, I did. We have a great relationship with Burton Elementary, mainly because my kids were all my kids went to school there, and then we were part of the PTO, and my wife works there, so we have this, Anyway, so I finished. It was funny because with they have their student government, they call it cabinet. We have what is it? We have I've been supplying the shirts, or I had been making shirts for them for I don't know how long. And so last year, starting the school, I was like, I don't want to make this a thing. I don't want to make shirts for a living anymore. So, or even as a side gig. So I was like, because it's the Burton cabinet, I'll make shirts. And then it was like, I don't know how much shirts were. I mean, it was maybe $40, something like that. And I already had the materials on the wall. So I was like, I'll just make the shirts, donate them. And so this year, we're actually going to have a parents' night out at the school specifically for the Burton cabinet. And that's going to be happening next Friday on the 18th. So looking forward to that. So we got, what is it? So the teacher in charge of the cabinet was like, hey, do you mind making our shirts? Because I've gone to a couple different places, and one place is pretty inexpensive, but I just don't like the person, or it was kind of weird. I can't really, and I was like, sure. I don't, I still have enough material on the wall. And she's like, I promise you will get paid this time. And it's not like they didn't want to pay. I just refused to give them an invoice. I was like, no, this is my donate. This is me doing something for the school. So I got those shirts done. So the product came in, got them done. And then I made the shirts, got them delivered yesterday. Good thing too, because I completely forgot there was actually no school today. Yeah, go figure. That's kind of how with it I have been. But anyway, so I've got that down. The Kyushu information guide is finished. at least for this printing. QR codes can always be added to that. More episodes will be made, but it is ready to go. It is ready to go. So that has been officially uploaded and is just kind of waiting in the ether for next Friday, which is the 18th, where I can press the publish button and get orders done for everybody. So you have 6 more days. The 17th is the last day to pre-order. So if you have not pre-ordered a Q Show information guide, you should do that. And I'm holding these really awesome chocolate chip banana muffins that my daughter makes. And so I'm not typing anything. So let me get that a link to that, because I'm just really let's see. Sweet. Anyway, so we got, let's put that in there. All right. So there you go. Just go to the website, go to the Pro Shop, and click on the Q Show information guide. You can get it there. It's going to be $34 before, after the 17th, it goes to $39. That is the primary, that's the regular price. When it's on Amazon, you can get it off of Amazon for that price. So really looking forward to that. I am at 59 pre-sales, 59 pre-orders for the, as I call it, the KIG, Q Show information guide. So 59, I'm pretty impressed with that number. And Rob chimed in earlier. Good morning, sir. Yeah, I know. 59 it's incredible. So I know that there's a couple other people who are like, oh, I still want to get it. So we will, we're waiting. You got 6 days. Well, yeah, you got 6 days. So I'll probably be sending out messages to be like, hey, just to let you know. It's funny. So I was, so last weekend I went to the Dan Anderson, it was the A to Z Sampu seminar with Dan Anderson, Brian Zawolinsky, and Kelly Worden. And never met Brian before. It was great. He's a great instructor. We went out to pizza afterwards, hung out. Really nice guy. Funny because 2 of his guys train modular with me on Zoom on Fridays. And so they were like, you can't keep him. Brian has to come back. Oh, geez. Okay. And then let's see. So that was pretty cool. Kelly was his great, good material, great presenter as always. And then of course, Dan, good instructor. There were some people that couldn't make it, that I would have loved to have been there, because you know how you go to a seminar and you always get stuck with that one person that just, they just, I don't know if, I do curse on here, but I don't, they just don't follow direction, or, they can't find their ass with 2 hands. Dan was doing this one section where, for the most part, the guy was following along. We were, we're learning a couple new things for me, new stuff for him. And he's, but you know how you sometimes get stuck with that person and you're just like, how did I get stuck with this person? But hey, it is what it is. We're at a seminar, we're learning. So, we're doing this one drill where, it's like a stepping drill or stepping practice. So, the person comes in with a 1 and then a 2, and you're doing it slow because if I come in this way, Dan was having a step a certain way, and then you come in with a 2 and the person steps a certain way to kind of reposition and get out of the way. And this person was like super, super fast. And I was like, and even Dan had told the group, slow down. We want to do this slowly, give our partners a chance to step properly. Okay. This guy, boom, boom. Me, my 1, giving time to step. And there were some times where I actually had to, flick my stick up to not get hit because the guy was going so fast. Because he wasn't even giving me a chance to take the second step. So I told him, I said, hey, could you slow down? I need to, trying to step here. And he's like, oh, okay. Okay, yeah, sure. Just like no concept. So after a while, I go up to him so nobody could hear. And I know I'm putting him on blast here, but I'm not giving him his name. But I go up to him. I'm like, hey, I was like, if you hit me because you are going too fast, I said, I'm going to hit you so hard, you're never going to forget. Ever. You're going to be living with that pain for the rest of your life. And he looks at me and goes, yeah, I would deserve that. Then fucking slow down. So, me, him, no change at all. And I'm like, and I was like, I'm done. Like, I'm just not going to do it anymore. I'm not going to get injured myself. And I don't think Dan would really like me beating the shit out of somebody at one of his seminars. So insurance doesn't like that. So yeah, that happened. And then there was lunch, and then I came back, and because Harvey was there and Harvey was not training with the person that he was training with, I got to train with Harvey, which is who I wanted to train with initially, but somehow we got another partner. It is what it is. So, but Harvey was there. We had a great time. It was great hanging out with him. I'm hoping that maybe next Sunday, I probably need to let him know this, but next Sunday or at some point, go up there and hang out. So, because I love hanging out with Harvey. Got talked about some different ideas, that kind of stuff. So, yes, slow is smooth is fast. Too fast during training leads to injuries, intentional and otherwise. Yeah. I don't think that guy understood that. So, and he doesn't do arnis. He does another style of sword work. But yeah, just I just want to use the term poser. Like, I don't know. Like, if you go to a seminar, you're going to learn. Like, go to learn. Go to, like I'm not really a stick. Like, I do stick stuff, but I don't, like, I'm more of a blade guy, so I don't do a lot of stick stuff. But a lot of the stick stuff that we did wasn't really bad habit stick stuff. So I was like, oh, okay, I can do this. There was one drill that Kelly had us do where we were sticking the stick underneath the inside the arm, and then using that tension to have it flick out. And then he showed then he showed another one where it wasn't the tension on the armpit, but it was the tension against a body part, another body part, but where this wasn't on. My brain, thank you, Bram. My brain is, I've just disarmed myself. I've just disarmed myself. I've just disarmed myself. So, like, of course, I'm not going to do that in real. I'm not going to practice it, but it was a good principle to base stuff off of, because he actually showed it off of how to just do it off the forearm, and then as using that as a brace, but not actually using the tension on the edge of the stick. He had to show how to create that tension, not off of a body part, but by using like forearm as a brace. You can come in here. You're not getting on the counter. You're not looking out the window. Yes, that's the cat. So, but yeah, so I still went and I still learned. There was still a lot of good stuff. But if you're gonna go, like, pay attention, like, follow along. Don't be a dick. I don't know. It's just me. Just wise words from somebody who goes to seminars, I don't know. So, let's see. What else do we got coming up? Oh yeah, Thanksgiving is coming up. That's fun. I love Thanksgiving, and in fact, I'm glad that I got some gratitude life skills badges coming in, so I can have that as part of the school. So we do these life skill badges, that talk about different stuff. Right now, we're talking about respect, and because Thanksgiving is one of my, it's funny. I'm not really a holiday person, not a Christmas person. Even though a lot of my money goes to Christmas, but it's not really me. But Thanksgiving, like getting family together, hanging out with family, seeing family, seeing friends. That's just something that I value so much. So, I know. So Thanksgiving has always just kind of been one of my favorite holidays. I don't work on Thanksgiving. I always make sure that I am, when I was working at the hospital, I made sure I had Thursdays off. And in fact, I didn't have to even ask for it off for a long, long time, because I had Thursday, Fridays off. So Thursday was just an automatic day I had off, which was nice. I just didn't have to. I knew that was, I was going to have that day off. So, but yeah, going in and so I'm kind of looking forward to using this badge. So kidslovelifeskills.com, that's where I get my badges from. They gratitude is actually on sale. So got the because I don't have the badges or any of the worksheets. I bought the packet. It's like $55 discounted, which is kind of cool. And then so I'm looking forward to getting those and introducing those into. I'm going to have that as a regular November-ish Thanksgiving time badge that we'll talk about gratitude, because with even if we have a shitty political system, and we might not like who's in the White House, whoever, whether you voted for him or not. You may not like who's of course we voted this week. I had a very, very hard time voting because there were people on the ballot that I just could not ethically vote for. But regardless, I'll get to that in a bit. But just we do live in one of the greatest countries, probably. I mean, and even though I don't have a lot of perspective on this, I've only been out of the country once, and that's when I was 6. But looking at how governments treat their people, uh, uh, we have more opportunity here and uh, more freedoms than other people. And you abide by the rules, and for the most part, um, you have an opportunity to do anything in America. So, United States, greatest country in the world. We could be better, though. We could be better, but and so I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful for my friends, and I'm grateful for my family and all the opportunities that I've had. So it's just one of those things. But now we bounce into the voting. So I actually posted. I don't post a lot. I have been posting my push-ups, and I'll get to that in a bit. But I for the first time in a long time, there were people that because I get out my little voters pamphlet and I read through it. I could just not. I couldn't ethically vote for them, whether and I don't usually I am a registered Republican, but I identify as more of a libertarian. But when it comes to the people that are on this two-party ticket, and there really weren't any independents or anybody else, it was Democrat and Republican, and I couldn't ethically vote for. I couldn't find an ethical reason to vote for either party, just because they're all shitbags. And so I actually posted something on Facebook, and of course, I get the whole spectrum of, it's like, you gotta look at the last couple of years and then vote, or if they support if they support Biden, then they don't get voted for. And one of my good friends from high school was don't vote for yourself, vote for others. And here's the thing is that there are a lot of people who they're like, well, how is this person going to represent me? And that's essentially, you're voting. I want this person to represent me, and there's not anybody representing me. But at the same time, I do keep other people in mind when I vote, because it's like, okay, how is this going to make us better as a country? Yes, does this person represent me, but how does this represent us as a country, or as a city, or as a state? And I couldn't find anybody. They were all horrible choices. They're all horrible people. And the one guy, I did not know this. I didn't do extensive research on this guy, except knowing that he's just a shitbag overall. But this guy, Joe Kent, he was he was going for representative, House of Representative for this area. He was the conservative. Like, I have conservative views. Okay, I've expressed that on here before. But this guy made me look and even feel like a bleeding heart liberal. And that who is the Republican ticket. And I'm just like, okay, this is one of his stance. He actually said this. So he supported Roe versus Wade being dropped and being brought back to the states, because it should be a state decision to whether abortion should be legal or not. Okay. But at the same time, he would also support a federal law outlawing abortion. You can't have that two ways. Like you can't say, oh yes, it should be a state decision, and then say that it should be federally outlawed. Like what? Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. Rob has a lot to say. I've always wished that there was a way more Americans could travel to third world countries. It proves an incredible experience where you appreciate life here more. I spent 3 months in Haiti and spent time in Central America, and there's so many atrocities that happen daily sanctioned by the government that would be criminal here. Yeah. No, I agree. Can't have your cake and eat it too. Doesn't work. Yeah. Like I don't know. Anyway, and one of his I actually had one of his door knockers knock on my door, and like it was like going to a Star Trek convention and seeing somebody dressed up in a really not good cosplay, but bad Star Trek cosplay. Like the uniform doesn't fit. Not even, it's like something that they were like, they took a sweatshirt and then drew they took like a red sweatshirt and then drew a black mark across here and then a black mark down here. And then, really, really bad. Promoting him. Like I open it up. I opened the door and you could just tell this guy was promoting Joe Kent. He wanted to talk about it. I'm like, nope. This guy, oh no, please. I just have, I have some. I was like, no, your guy is a shitbag. And yeah, not gonna vote for him. There's no way you can convince me that voting for him is a good idea. And so he's like this, and so I'm about to close the door. He goes, oh no, just tell me you're not gonna vote for the other person. It's none of your business. I was like, what the hell? I just, yeah. So it was common. I should have taken a picture. I should have taken a picture. Yeah, it was very, very comical. But yeah, so, I did vote, but it was very, very hard for me to vote. Now Oregon voted. They passed, I guess, apparently it's one of the strictest gun laws in the United States. So, it bans all magazines, over 10 rounds. You can still own them, but you cannot sell them or trade them. So what you have is what you have. But you can't buy any more, and you can't sell what you have. So you're just kind of, there is none of that. And then you have to get a permit to buy a gun. So not just, and I guess it closes some loophole. So like if I went to, let's say I was an Oregonian, I go to buy a gun, and the FBI can't do a background check in 3 days, then I still get to go buy my gun. So not a bad thing. I mean, I do think that there still should be some type of background check, because if you're severely mentally ill, and really the jury is out on that. But if there's a reason why you should not be able to own a gun, you shouldn't. But the other thing is that you have to have some type of training, and you have to have as part of getting the permit. Now, to get a concealed carry permit before this law went into effect, to get a concealed carry in Oregon, you needed a basically concealed carry class, and I don't remember if. Now, I've never taken the class because I was an armed DPSST, so that never, it's just like, yes, I've taken a firearm course, so getting it concealed in Oregon was not a problem. But like, if you go take a course, I've been told two different stories, that you have to show that you know how to handle a gun and you can shoot a gun. And I've also been told that you don't actually have to shoot it. You just have to, like, in class, prove that you can handle the gun. So I really don't know. But the new way works is that before buying a gun, you have to get a permit. So now they're tracking, if they weren't tracking you before, now they're definitely tracking you. But when it comes to getting a license or a permit for a gun, that kind of falls under like a driver. See, I kind of equate it to a driver's license. Like getting a driver's license permit or a license, that's a privilege to drive, where owning a gun is a right, and you shouldn't need a permit. So, yeah, I don't know. And then, of course, I haven't read the law, but apparently there's a bunch of different sheriffs that have come out that they're like, we're not going to enforce the 10-round magazine law. They're not going to enforce that, and that they are, and that when it comes to how it was written, when it came to, what is it? One, I think it was the Lynn County Sheriff, said basically the way it was written is that there is no clear determination of who can teach a permit class, what the class needs to entail, or anything like that. So, like, it's apparently a shitty law, and there's potentially lawsuits. So I don't know. So, well, yeah. So there's that. Now in Washington, we have our own shitty gun laws, but you can still, if you're a Washingtonian and you want to get a concealed weapon permit, you just need to be 21. You just go in, fingerprint me, and you pass the background check, you get the thing, you're done. And you don't need training. Now, do I believe you should have training if you're going to own a firearm? Absolutely, yes. I am pro training. Yeah, if you're going to own a weapon, or a projectile tool. Well, let's just say if you own a tool of any kind, self-defense tool or whatever, you should have some kind of training on how to operate that tool properly. And yeah, there are some people, I think, just by looking at them, because I do judge people. Oh, that's another really funny story from this week. That just by looking at them, that you're like, yeah, you shouldn't own a gun. There's just yeah. So I'm in Costco with my wife, and I can't remember what the checker said, but it sparked this, and I honestly cannot remember what the checker said, but I was like, I said, well, look, I said, I spent 20 years in security. I said, I don't judge people, but I do profile them. Lisa's with me, and she's just like, "You can't say that out loud. Why did you say that? You say that too loud." And I'm like, "What? Like, it's true. We all profile people. It's not like I'm, prejudiced against anybody, but yeah, I'm totally gonna like if you're acting a certain way, if you're dressed a certain way, yeah, I'm gonna profile the hell out of you." I have too many horror stories of being a range safety officer to recount, but very pro education. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we got a bunch of people watching. See that? I don't know if you guys can see it. I can see there's 4 people watching. In fact, I can go and see. Ooh, I got 3 people on YouTube and 1 person on Facebook. So, hey, YouTube people, say hi. Who's checking in? So here, buy my book if you haven't. There you go. Click on that link. Got to shamelessly plug the book. But yeah, it was, I find it funny. Lisa, I don't know why Lisa always acts that way, but she does. I found it humorous. Let's see. There are, it's Ashton. It's Ashton, my son. Oh, and James is also watching. Hey, James. Hey, buddy, we're gonna hang out later today. Oh, and since Ashton is watching, did you know? And this is a very sad day for Batman fans, but Kevin Conroy passed away. He at the let's see, he is the way that they list it, he is the definitive voice of Batman, but he died at 66. This was published a couple hours ago. So there you go. Yeah. That was, let's see. It was Steve Perry who posted that I saw that linked on there this morning. And because Steve Perry, Matador novels, see, I still even have Matador novels. He also wrote several Batman scripts for the Batman animated series. So of course he's connected to that. So there you go. Yeah. There was something else. I wanted. There was a bunch of different things going on. I am one of the ideas that I have now for books is a series of kids books. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I had a thought about this earlier. I wanted to call them like who is what is it? Who was or who is, but there's a whole series already called those. So I'm actually going to call them Who's That? Because little kids are like, oh, who's that? What's that? Who's that? So so I'm going to do, I'm looking, I need an artist because it's going to be little kids books, maybe 10 by 10 size square books, kind of like what do you call them? Like the little golden books. But I'd be able to do it through Amazon. So, but I could do it on all different martial arts instructors. So, and being able to tell their story. So I was thinking, the top ones for me is like Funakoshi. Of course, all these people are dead right now, but like Funakoshi and Wally J and Remy Precis, and then we could do one on Jack Hogan, and even go back, Bushi Matsumura, like who the hell's that? Bruce Lee, and just like kind of like tell their little stories. and then, you know, we'll get into those people who are still living. But I thought that that would be a really cool martial arts series for kids. It's just that I can't draw for anything. So I'd want to do some type of connect with an artist that could, you know, basically it would be, you know, maybe a couple sentences on one page, and then whatever, like, this is kind of what I envision is that Gichin Funakoshi, when he goes to when he originally goes to Japan, and he writes about this in his Karate Do My Way of Life, is when he initially goes to Japan, he's getting off the boat and just whatever wave is kind of rocks, and he almost falls off, but he's able to rebalance himself, and he attributes that to his karate training. So, and it's a little story that he tells in Karate Do My Way of Life. So I envision like, you know, be like, you know, on his way to Japan to you know, teach karate, you know, whatever. I don't know what the hell it would say, but I envision him, like, you see it like a boat, and him kind of like balancing, like he's gonna fall, like, I don't know, like something like that, where it'd be like, you know, he's maybe on one foot and he's kind of, you know, balancing on the gangway, or something like that. I don't know. I just thought that that would be really, really cool. So but I figured I would just start writing, and then you know, I'll just start looking for an artist. And then when I find an artist, then I'll be like, hey, here's all these books. Let's start getting to it. And it would be probably like, I don't know, I'm poor, so we could do like a 50-50 split, or even I might just do start off with a do like a Kickstarter, like, say, here's the first 5 books or whatever, and then, you know, and then see if I can't raise money that way, and then I can pay the artist that way, because I figure, you know, if I just need the artwork, if I can buy the artwork and have rights to the artwork, then I can just pay that guy or gal, whoever it ends up being, and then I would just, you know, I would take the, then I wouldn't have to worry about dividend, you know, giving royalties or anything like that. Or I could be like, okay, this is how much each book is worth to you, to the artist, and then, you know, they get royalties up until whatever they were paid for it. So if it was a popular book, then they'd get their money right away, and then maybe a smaller percentage of royalties after that. So they still, you know, I don't know, something like that. But I thought that would be pretty cool. I've you know, like Dillman has I think, what is it? Little J Learns Karate or something like that. And so he took his mascot, the eagle, and has him do like a karate class. And I think I always thought that was cool. And I didn't really think of that as, ooh, George did it, so I'm going to do it. But just as a general, like, you know, series about martial artists, so we can get, you know, younger readers, younger kids interested in these masters, because they all started when they were young. They were nobodies when they started, and then, you know, some of these people became great masters, great grandmasters, and taught, you know, influenced thousands of people. So through the martial arts. So, you know, how do we influence people to want to study martial arts? Well, We get them interested in stuff. People are, people learn about famous engineers and, I want to be an engineer. Well, maybe we can do the same thing with martial arts. I don't know. Let's see. I'll send you a few names to reach out to. Two are good friends. The others are associates. Okay, cool. Yeah. I sat down and I started writing the Gichin Funakoshi one. And just because, for me, that's probably the easiest because I've read Karate Do My Way of Life, I don't know, 500,000 times. So I can be like, oh, okay, I'll just write about that story, or I'll write about that story. But I figure, we could start off with, and then like with Jack Hogan, I could reach out to Davey and ask, and different people and ask, different things about him, because I think that would be kind of cool. That might be a great little HKI book for people. So, and of course, I don't have to be the only writer too. But I would, if we wanted to put it as part of a series, it could be, I figure the way I envision it, if I'm the primary writer, I would want to have the same artist for every book. So we have consistency. But if there's a different writer, then we could do a different artist too. And it would just be part of the Who's That series. Some Jack quotes should be in the adult-oriented version. Ooh, so I like that. I like that idea. Especially people like especially for those who'd be like, we have the kids version, and then we have the adult version. And of course, this is be ones for, that we wouldn't want to not to give a poor light on people, but because we want this to be a positive book. And maybe I almost thought about like the books could also be themed, like there's some lesson from the book. But I think if it's going to be like a Who's That, we're learning about that person and what inspired them to do martial arts and what they specialized in. So, but yeah, I think that would be pretty cool. Yeah. Anyway, so that's just a thought that I'm one of the many book projects that I have back in my brain. So, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm at 1,100 push-ups for and I haven't even done any today on the 11th. As 10 days in, I'm at 1,100 push-ups. And if I count the 30 that I did not record, or the 10 that I did in class the other day, and the other 10 I did before that I didn't record, and the other stuff, I'm almost to 1,200 push-ups. But I think even though I've gotten some people saying, oh, hey, you should count the ones even if they're not on film. Now I'm just, they are what they are. I'll know the real one, the real number. But even though it is kind of a pain in the butt pulling out the camera in class to do push-ups, last night, I usually only do 10. In class, we just do 10. But I wanted to do, even though I was at 100 already for yesterday, I had 19 more to go to get to 1,100 even. But I was like, no, I want to get to 1,101. So I was like, I'll just knock out 20 push-ups and so we get that done. But yeah, that was, I'm having fun with it so far. I've noticed that, like the first couple days, man, I was in so much pain. Oh my God. But I've noticed it's becoming easier to do. I am getting stronger. It was funny. The first day I knocked out 35, and then it was 25, and then it was 10, and it was but I've noticed that even after going for a walk, and like yesterday, I actually went for a walk/run, which is not that smart because it's really, really cold outside. I have not gone for my walk yet today. I usually go for my walk before the podcast on Friday, but it has been so cold that I just haven't. So I will probably go on my walk after this, but I can just do 30 with no problem. And if I give myself, a couple hours rest, I can do another 30. Well, the last couple days I've been starting late. And so I wanted to try and knock out as many as I could yesterday. And I had the idea of like, okay, and I'm going to do this because on Sunday, I'm going to give myself a rest day. I'm not going to do any on Sunday. And so even taking a rest day on Sunday, I will still be ahead. But just because if I at least do 100 today and 100 tomorrow, I'm still 100, I'm still not behind. Don't have to do any catch up. But but anyway, on Monday, I was thinking, okay, well, because what I've been doing is I do as many as I can until I can't do any more. And for me, it's about becoming stronger and strengthening. It's just not, I can, let me do 25 here, 25 there to just get out the 100. So if I do as many and I push myself, I become stronger. So, so I thought about, okay, well, if I do that, so you've seen like in the first 10 days, like I was able to do 35, and the next day, the first time out, I was able to do 28, and then it was like 25, and it was 22, like each day. And then I started being able to get more. And so now I'm kind of stuck at this 30, which is fine because even after going for my walk/run yesterday and then knocking out 30, I'm still like, that's pretty awesome. And then being able to do like, I wait an hour and I can knock out another 30. Like, but I was thinking, like there's some people like, they'll do 25 and then wait like 10 minutes and do another 25 and then wait 10 minutes, then do another 25. I want to see, after my day of rest, I'm going to do something like that. I'll give myself like 30 minutes of rest and then see how many I can do. And then give myself 30 minutes of rest and see how many I can do. So, or maybe just stick it at 25. Just be like, okay, I'll do 25, give myself a rest and not wait like 2 hours, give it like 30 minutes. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm kind of playing around with it. I mean, I got 20 more days, so, but yeah. Okay. So oh my gosh, that's a lot. I came on this morning, not really knowing what I was going to talk about, but talked about a lot of stuff. Okay. So, yeah. And I never even talked about Andor. Andor is amazing. Oh my gosh. This last episode, what a show. We got 2 more episodes left. 2 more. Oh my gosh. In fact, I think, okay. So if I look at so we got, Wednesday, the 16th. Okay. Because today's Friday the 11th. Wednesday, the 16th is the next episode, and then episode 11. Then Wednesday, the 23rd is the final episode. Even though we're gonna have Thanksgiving break, I don't know. Rob, if you're still on here, would you be available Friday the 25th, and we can just talk about Andor? Would you be game for that? because I think we should do an Andor episode, or maybe I'll just come on. We can just have a special, just like special podcast where we just talk about Andor. So, I don't want to interfere with any family stuff going on. In fact, because he says he's checking on. So last night, in the teen adult class, one of the adults was like, "So I'm assuming that we're not going to have class on the 24th." And I said, no. Actually, we're going to have a double class on the 24th. And she's like, "Oh, seriously?" She's like, "Oh, great," because she didn't want to do any family stuff with her in-laws. Or maybe it was her own mother. I don't know. But anyway, I thought that was so funny that she's like, "Yeah, I'll go to class. I'll do a 2-hour class." So we actually may be doing I might actually do a Saturday class. I wasn't going to, but for those people who want to come in and do a Saturday class, I will do a Saturday class. And maybe we'll just do like a 2-hour class and we'll just make it. Yeah, it'll be awesome. Yep. With it being Black Friday, I'm at home all day, not doing shit that I know of. Okay, cool. So for those watching, and we'll just promote the hell out of this, we're going to do an Andor show on the 25th of and I don't know how long it's going to be. It's going to be like maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours. I have been wanting probably, and this is probably what I'll do, is because I usually do this before the last episode, is I will rewatch the entire thing. So yeah, I'm super, super excited for the series. And for some reason, and I don't know why I thought this, I thought that they had filmed all 24 episodes, but apparently they go to start filming the second season like in like 10 days. Like they start filming on the 21st. And why? So I'm confused. I thought it was all done, that they were just going to go, here's the first season, and then we're going to wait a little bit and put out the second season. No, I was absolutely wrong. They are filming the second season starting on the November 21st, which means we're not going to get a second season of Andor for probably, I don't know, like 2 years. So, that's very frustrating. And then, of course, in the spirit of Disney, they're like, "Oh, hey, there's this new show called The Acolyte, and we're gonna give you this special this special behind the scenes thing." No, it's just a picture of some chick in a t-shirt. I think it's the main character, who I guess is the Acolyte, and then other person and a director, and they're not even in garb. They're just like, it was almost like a walkthrough rehearsal or a read through on set. Like, that tells me nothing. It tells me nothing. So yeah, I don't know, but I am kind of looking forward to it. Let's see. I think they talked about trying to do that, but weren't able to. Oh yeah, in reference to filming all of it. And then they had gone out for beers and took a selfie. It was almost like that. Yeah. So anyway, so that's kind of where I am with that. Yeah. So there we go. That is Danny would say, that's all the news is fit to print. Yeah. So until next time, and I guess I'll talk, not today, but next time I'll try and make a note. We'll talk some some Quantum Leap, because it's actually kind of getting interesting. I don't know. So if you've been watching Quantum Leap, the new one, we can talk about that. But until then, thank you all for tuning in, and be safe. I'll see you later. The Long and